I'm in the way, I'm gonna rest. I never switch. Ice in the wrist. I get the money, but I never switch. They saying you switch and you won't get it. You know they came from the bottom and now we is lit. You was lit. I gotta get it, I gotta get it. You hating cause ice on the wrist. Why bet you wanna be famous?
It is loud and it is wet here, Coach, as we welcome you inside CenturyLink Field on a patented rainy afternoon in Seattle, Washington. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Seattle Seahawks. Ready to get us started, the Aussie punter and kickoff man, Michael Dixon. And off we go from Seattle. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
Let's go. The Eagles take over first and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
Ready! Check. Watch it before.
Miles Sanders, first carry of the game. A bad start there. A big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on second and less than a yard. It's a second down run with Sanders. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. Working from the gun, Wentz. His short throw caught by Gotw. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Here we go.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up second and 6.
Check 31. Hey, switch gears. Shit.
Wentz on the give to Sanders. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Here we go. I'm coming after you.
From the gun on third down, Wentz. And the Seahawk defense gets to him and they bring him down. Shaquem Griffin, he was relentless there as he hits home for the sack.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
A very good return that time. 18 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, first and 10. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, first and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Don't get nervous.
Now a handoff here to his running back. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
12.
From the 41, Wilson. It's complete to Lockett. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
They run on first down, but it only produces a gain of 2. It's 2nd down now. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And an alley to run. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And finally, wrestled down at the 11. A gain there of 21 yards.
Pretty nice play here. They go read option, read the defensive end, and when he claps down inside, how about the quarterback pulling it, keeping it, and not only getting to the second level, but picking up some really nice yardage.
Very, very well read. They go play action with Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett there to make the grab. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turning to his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
The Eagles take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They were forced to punt on their initial drive of the new season. Now they're ready to go as they begin again with a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Sanders rolling to his right. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down now, it's Sanders. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Shotgun now for Wentz. And he connects with Ertz. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A pickup of 24. And that's where the play began, the 24-yard line.
1st down, Philadelphia.
Here we go, Pac-Man. 120!
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
On 2nd and 11 now. Wentz Rush coming, and he's taken down. L.J. Collier. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. From the gun, it's Wentz. That's caught by Jackson. And they'll get this across midfield, but not nearly close to a first down as he stopped at the 48. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion, but I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Wentz going to go on 4th down. Trying to get it to Jackson, and it's intercepted. Tedrick Thompson picks it. Oh, jumping over. And now off to the races, down the right side. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So they go on 4th down. Not only do they not get it, it turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
Probably also instinct a lot of times. If you see a lot of green grass ahead of you, go ahead and grab it.
It's the exact right play to do. That's knowing when to break the rules and when to make a play that maybe you hadn't been taught.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Eagles take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
But one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Play fake to Sanders. Now here's Wentz. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. Here's Wentz to throw. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. That one good for 24 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They run on 1st down as they're able to get this forward for about 4. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
From the 44, Wentz. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 31-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Check, crunch, crunch, crunch. Check 99, check 99, 25.
Pilot, 64, weak. Two jet.
Wentz now to throw. That's complete to Williams out of the backfield. And he is going to lose yardage here. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. The loss of 3 on that 1st down pass play. Now 2nd and 13. Wentz And that's complete to Jeffrey. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 15-yard line. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
It's a jet sweep as they get this to Jackson, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Watch the shit. Watch the shit. Hey, watch the shit. Grade 15. Grade 15. 55. Quality, 82. Quality. Listen back. Hey, exit. Listen back. Hey, check.
On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's going to come up well shy of the first here as the tackle's made right around the 12.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Now, that's something of a pick-me-up. The offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have, and think back to our meeting with the head coach, and we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
From the 25 on 2nd down, Wilson. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And the catch made by Johnson. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. Now Wilson on 1st down. It's caught. Lockett. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half.
Out, 36 power.
To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf, and it's 3rd and short.
You know, when you go through scouting reports, you go through everything. Height, weight, speed, the whole deal. They knew that they had a 4-inch height advantage there and tried to make a play on a 50-50 ball, didn't they?
Yeah, took the shot downfield. Hey, give them credit defensively. Maybe 4 inches shorter, but able to jostle it free.
Feisty. Feisty.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Gun. 47's the mic, boys. 47. Check, 47. It's our time. It's our time.
They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for second and 23.
47's the mic. 47's the mic. Watch the run. Watch the 47 mic. 47 mic. Mic 47. Watch the flag. Watch the flag. Watch the flag. Watch the flag. Motion. Alert. 47's the mic. 47's the mic.
Play action. It's Wilson. He'll let this go for the end zone. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Keyshawn Johnson, 44 yards. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. This is fielded at the goal line. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20.
The Eagles take over first and 10 at their own 20.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops, and if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
And now this throw incomplete, and that is how this first half will come to an end. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend, as we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. A big run there, 29 yards and a first. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Here's Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. That throw good for 4. It's second down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Play action. Now Wilson. Flushed out right.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Check 53. They want this. Gun. 12. 53.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
First and 10 at the 27-yard line.
47's the mic. Let's put them on the buses. Let's put that team on the bus.
Penny, a first down carry. And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Back. Got it. Hey, alert.
From the 24, Wilson. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
From the gun on third down, Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Seahawks, they're able to stretch that lead out a bit further. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And the lead is now 24. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
On play action, Wentz. Well, that's complete to Sanders. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to bring up a third down.
They're running, man.
Now Wentz. Looking for Ertz, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Brad McDougal. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
Okay, partner, no surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
Sliding out of the pocket. He'll find Metcalf. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 7 yards on the play. And it'll be second and goal. Throwing is Wilson. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Well, they've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on third and goal? And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. And Myers able to knock it through, and that will extend their lead even further. They had it first and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive, but you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. You end up having to take 3 there.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
3 bud. Shift. Wide, get wide.
Now a carry for Sanders. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
Here we go. 280! 54! Hey! What's your son? Right there. 54, right there. 54, Mike.
Another run here with Sanders. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Yeah, this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I think you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Back now in Seattle, Washington. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. Call it an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be 3rd down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. It's a pickup of 4, but they're still a yard short here with 4th down, forthcoming. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
They start on the ground here at Sanders. A big hitter there from deep in their own territory. 49 yards on the ground. A great run, but, you know, this is probably where the offensive coordinator is saying, geez, we could have used a couple of these earlier in the game.
Hey, he's probably telling the head coach, well, talk to the run game coordinator about that. I just call the plays. We should have had this going right from the beginning.
Right back to Sanders on 1st down. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 9, Wentz. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. 22 yards there, a 1st down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes. Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Hang in there now. Hang in there now.
They'll go again with Sanders. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. That's a gain of 4 as we slip inside of 4 minutes left in regulation.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now, look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run. Wentz looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. And this is no good. Close, but he misses just left of the upright. And this score will stay right where it is. So they'll come away with nothing here. A disappointing result even on a day like this.
And as a kicker in the rain, you've got to slow things down a little bit. Give your holder an extra half second to make sure everything's secure. And here, he might have rushed this one a little, and it winds up no good.
A little bit of space there for the first down run, as that's going to get him about 5 yards. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. And again this time to the tailback. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. And now defensively they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Taking it about the 16. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And they have to feel like they missed on an opportunity for points last time when they couldn't connect on that short field goal try.
And no doubt about it, because they were...
And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Bobby Wagner, the former 2nd rounder out of Utah State, with a sack. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
I'm scared.
Sanders here as they run out of the gun. And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. A 4-yard pickup that gets him going forward, but still 15 yards left on 3rd down.
Here we go. Waiting. Come to my work. We want it.
Working from the gun. Wentz. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Now the Eagles will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it prior to what will be an important 4th down. The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. Averaging over 50 yards of punt so far as this one's away. And it's fielded at the 34. Great blocking, nearly sprung him there. 28-yard return. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. On the NFL scoreboard, they are in the fourth now in Carson. Chargers have just scored, so they extend their lead. A win would be their second on the young season. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Good job right there. Good job right there. He's crashing.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Tackle made that time by Brandon Graham.
53.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he coughed it up. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. They've got to find that good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
They'll run. It's Sanders. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
He's coming west.
They fake the give. Now Wentz. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off near the 42. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. Boy, the run on 1st down, a disaster as he's tackled well behind the line of scrimmage. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Going to give this time to the tailback. Give him 9 there. They still need 6 more now on 3rd down. Now we'll get whistles, and they've signaled for a timeout. Not sure I see the logic in this, but we'll get a stoppage anyway with 5 seconds remaining. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. So the victory here for Seattle. And with that, our journey begins, Charles. Week 1 in the books. Going to be a great season.
Oh, man, so much to look forward to. Isn't it nice to get a really good game right out of the gate? Preseason behind us. All these games count now, don't they?
Yeah, this is the exciting time with just 1 week gone and plenty of weeks to come. So for the Seahawks, that'll be a happy locker room as they start this season 1-0. And they will hit the road next week to take on the